Hello, this is Nightline and I'm Raymond. News making the headlines. Motion for no top 2 UMNO post contests passed. And issuance of My Kit delayed for 6 months. Good morning. The 2022 UMNO General Assembly on Saturday passed all motions, including an additional one proposing that the posts of party president and deputy president to remain unchallenged in the upcoming party election to be held this year. With that, Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi and Datuk Sri Muhammad Hassan, who hold the posts respectively, would continue leading the party for another 3 years. The motion, which was proposed by a Negeri Sembilan delegate on Friday, was passed through a voice vote at 4:52 p.m. in Dewan Merdeka at the Kuala Lumpur World Trade Center on the last day of the General Assembly. A majority of the delegates stood up and raised their hands supporting the motion. Those who did not support the motion were also asked to stand up and raise their hands, but the number was very small. The motion for the top 2 posts not to be contested had stirred polemic within UMNO due to differing views among its leaders on whether the posts should remain unchallenged, with some saying the contests would risk dividing the party, while others argued it will allow Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid and Datuk Sri Muhammad to prove they have the support of the grassroots members following UMNO's and Barisan Nasional BN's crushing defeat in the 15th general election GE15 in November last year. The UMNO election must be held before May 19th or within 6 months after GE15. Meanwhile, Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid has stressed that the additional motion on keeping the president and deputy president posts uncontested at the upcoming party election is valid and cannot be challenged. Speaking at a press conference at the end of the 2022 UMNO General Assembly, the UMNO president said that the approval of the additional motion is final and in accordance to the articles and clauses in the party's constitution.
Rasional terhadap perkara ini telah pun diperincikan oleh semua jurucakap dan saya juga turut meneliti ucapan dasar ketua-ketua sayap dan juga jurucakap negeri-negeri. Maka keputusan tadi adalah merupakan keputusan muktamad sesuai dengan apa yang saya nyatakan di dalam wawancara atau kenyataan media bahawa sesungguhnya kami berdua menyerahkan soal ini kepada perwakilan.
He added that the contest for the vice president posts and below will go on as usual. Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid also denied claims that there were imported delegates at the General Assembly to ensure that the additional motion was approved. On calls that action be taken against former UMNO Youth Chief Khairi Jamaluddin, who claimed that there was a conspiracy to approve the additional motion, he said the matter will be raised and discussed by the UMNO Disciplinary Board as well as the party's management committee. In a separate press conference, UMNO Vice President Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said party members who were dissatisfied with the decision to pass the no contest motion for the 2 top posts can refer the matter to the Registrar of Societies ROS.
Ada juga pandangan yang berbeza yang mengatakan dari segi pound, walaupun ianya merupakan satu venue yang tertinggi di dalam parti yang boleh membuat sebarang keputusan, tetapi ianya mesti tertakluk kepada perlembagaan parti. Dari segi itu, saya rasa ROS boleh dirujuk untuk mendapat pandangan daripada ROS sama ada boleh sah ataupun tidak dari segi keputusan.
In his winding-up speech at the 2022 UMNO Annual General Assembly, Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid also called on the party to get ready to be part of the state government in Pulau Pinang, Selangor and Negeri Sembilan, currently controlled by PH, after the coming state elections. He reiterated that the unity government, which BN is a part of, was the best solution for the party to avoid being exposed to division among members.
Dengan sebab itu, kerajaan perpaduan adalah penyelesai atau solusi terbaik untuk parti bagi mengelakkan parti sekali lagi diratah perpaduannya. InsyaAllah, dengan itu juga kita mampu menghadapi PRN negeri-negeri dengan gagah dan kuat, khususnya di Kelantan, Terengganu dan Kedah. Ada kaedah.
To face the coming state elections, the UMNO president announced that the party has named a senior leader to take charge of election matters in each of the 6 states. His deputy, Datuk Sri Muhammad Hassan, will head the state election machinery in Negeri Sembilan, while 2 of the party's vice presidents, Datuk Sri Madzir Khalid and Datuk Sri Muhammad Khalid Nordin in Kedah and Terengganu respectively. Apart from that, BN Secretary General Datuk Sri Zamri Abdul Qadir will take charge in Kelantan, Supreme Council member Datuk Sri Azalina Othman Said in Pulau Pinang, and International Trade and Industry Minister Datuk Sri Tengku Zafrul Abdul Aziz in Selangor. In the meantime, all UMNO members have been asked to give the party leadership the opportunity and space to explore the current political dynamics of the country to ensure the survival of the party. In his adjournment speech at the 2022 UMNO General Assembly, Deputy President Datuk Sri Muhammad Hassan also urged the delegates to return to their respective constituencies and pick up the broken bits and pieces to rebuild UMNO strongholds for the 16th general election.
Bagi parti peluang untuk menerokai dinamik politik semasa, ya, untuk kita pastikan supaya yang penting survival parti ini menjadi keutamaan kita, agar apa yang dilakukan oleh parti, pucuk pimpinan parti, semata-mata untuk memastikan kita memulakan langkah untuk kita menghadapi pilihan raya ke-16. Itu penting, ya.
Datuk Sri Muhammad, who is also Defence Minister, added that being in the unity government led by Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim does not mean that UMNO is merging with other parties in the government. He added that the cooperation in the government is mainly for the purpose of managing the country, and he, as a cabinet member from UMNO, will do his best to assure that this unity government performs well for the sake of the people. A coalition comprising Pakatan Harapan PH and Barisan Nasional BN has the potential to win 53 of the 56 seats up for grabs in the Selangor state election this year. PKR Deputy President Rafizi Ramli said this projection was based on an early study of the 15th general election GE15 results, which showed PH had the edge in 40 state seats.
Setakat ini kalau kita tengok kepada ialah beberapa kaji selidik yang berasingan, setakat ini menunjukkan bahawa pengundi PH yang menerima dengan baik gabungan ini. Jadi hypothetically, sepatutnya untuk PH mengekalkan 40 kursi itu sebenarnya agak mudah lah, saya boleh kata begitu, kerana tanda-tandanya ialah yang paling kuat menyokong dan menerima realiti kerajaan perpaduan ini adalah penyokong PH, terutamanya penyokong di kawasan bandar dan separa bandar, yang faham, contohnya, sebab kita fahamlah, yang faham tentang keperluannya, faham tentang dasar yang nak dibuatnya.
Seeing it as a realistic target, Rafizi also said it was based on the factor of voters who are economically literate. He, however, said PH had yet to hold talks with BN regarding cooperation in the state election. The PKR number 2 is also keeping close tabs on developments taking place within the BN's anchor party UMNO, which held its General Assembly in Kuala Lumpur over the last couple of days, and said that any cooperation at the state level would depend on what happens next. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim will hold a retreat with cabinet ministers on Sunday. Minister of Communications and Digital Fahmi Fadzil said the retreat, which would be held at an undisclosed location, was to discuss the future direction of the unity government and set the key performance indicators (KPI) for each ministry. He said the retreat is timely because in the course of the last few months, the ministers have familiarized themselves with their ministries, and this is important in charting the direction for the unity government. Previously, Datuk Seri Anwar reportedly said that a special retreat will be held for cabinet ministers. This is to set the KPI for each ministry and get input on their performance since taking office under the unity government. There will be a 6-month delay in the issuance of My Kid for newborns in this country following the global microchip shortage caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. National Registration Department NRD Director General Dr. Roslyn Juso said parents can still submit new applications but have to wait a little longer because the department will process the applications in stages according to their respective turns.
Proses ini akan berterusan di mana pengeluaran market akan kita laksanakan juga setelah penangguhan ini kita perolehan baru setelah bekalan chip dapat kita selesaikan.
Dr. Roslyn said this to the media after the department's Menyemai Kasih Rakyat Mekar program in Semabuk Dalam, Melaka on Saturday. He also urged all government and private agencies to accept birth certificates for any business involving children, as it is the only document recognized in important matters such as applications for school admission. Earlier, Dato' Roslyn, who was accompanied by State NRD Director Norazle Sulaiman, presented my card to a disabled girl, 12-year-old Nur Alia Amar, in Bukit Godek, in conjunction with the outreach program. The Mekar program was introduced in 2013 to ease the application and issuance of identity documents such as My Card and birth certificates for persons with disabilities, the elderly, bedridden patients, as well as residents in remote areas. To date, a total of 292,999 applications have been processed under the program nationwide. Plus, Malaysia Berhad is expecting as many as 2 million vehicles on its highways on January 20th, 21st and 24th, which are the peak days of the Chinese New Year celebration. Its Chief Operating Officer, Datuk Zakaria Ahmad Zabidi, said the figure represented a 20% increase compared to normal daily traffic. According to Datuk Zakaria, the highway operator has made early preparations and planned several strategies to ensure the increase in traffic on the highway is more manageable, including highway safety, traffic and congestion management, traffic distribution and traffic updates. He also urged motorcyclists and heavy vehicle drivers to be more cautious and take precautionary measures to ensure their safety throughout the festive season, as motorcyclists contributed to roughly 64% of overall fatal accidents on the NSE in 2022. He added that PLUS will also work together with police and the Road Transport Department (RTD) to ensure highway users abide by traffic rules at all times. PLUS will also increase the number of highway patrols on the NSE and East Coast Expressway Phase 2 or LPT2 during the festive period to assist highway users experiencing vehicle breakdown or emergencies. The Travel Time Advisory (TTA) schedule for travels on both highways will also be released soon to aid the public in planning their balik kampung journey and when returning to the Klang Valley. TV3 and Harian Metro have won the Bronze Awards in the Media Networks category at the prestigious Putra Brand Awards PBA 2022 on Friday night. Accepting the awards for TV3 was Media Prima Berhad Group Managing Director Rafiq Razali, while for Harian Metro was Group Editor Hussein Jahid. Also present were NSTP Group Managing Editor Dato Ahmad Zaini Kamaruzaman, who's also Berita Harian BH Group Editor, and NST Group Editor Farah Naz Karim. This is the 13th year for the PBA, with 151 awards presented involving 24 categories, including media, communications, banking, investment and insurance, e-commerce, entertainment and tourism. Putra Brand Awards Organising Chairman Dato Johnny Munn said the award was established to encourage companies to invest in their brands and stay at the top of the consumer's mind, while staying relevant to the industry's niche market. China logs nearly 60,000 COVID deaths in a month. News from the foreign front when Nightline returns. Welcome back to Nightline. On to the foreign front now. Indonesia has deployed a warship to its North Natuna Sea to monitor a Chinese Coast Guard vessel that has been active in a resource-rich maritime area, a territory which both countries claimed as their own. The country's naval chief on Saturday said a warship, maritime patrol plane and drone have been deployed to monitor the Chinese vessel. This, as ship tracking data showed that the vessel has been sailing in the Natuna Sea, particularly near the Tuna Block gas field and the Vietnamese Chim Sao oil and gas field since December 30th. Although the Chinese vessel has not conducted any suspicious activities, the chief stated that the vessel needs to be monitored, as it has been in Indonesia's exclusive economic zone for some time. Iran on Saturday said it has executed British-Iranian dual national Ali Reza Akbari after sentencing him to death on charges of spying for Britain, drawing sharp condemnation from the British government. According to the Iranian judiciary-affiliated outlet Mizan, Akbari was hanged after being convicted of corruption on earth and harming the country's internal and external security by passing on intelligence. The 61-year-old, who had been arrested more than 2 years ago, has been alleged as a source for Britain's secret intelligence agency and had received around $2 million for his services. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, in the meantime, said he was appalled by the execution, adding that it was a callous and cowardly act carried out by a barbaric regime with no respect for the human rights of their own people. Though Iran does not recognize dual nationality, the execution of an individual holding British citizenship will likely further fuel tensions between Tehran and Western democracies, which have been critical of the regime's response to anti-government demonstrations that began in September last year. China on Saturday reported almost 60,000 COVID-19 related deaths in just over a month, the first major death toll released by the government since the loosening of its virus restrictions in early December. According to a National Health Commission, there were a total of 59,938 COVID-related deaths between December 8, 2022 and January 12 this year. The data includes 5,503 deaths caused by respiratory failure directly due to the virus and 54,435 deaths caused by underlying conditions combined with COVID-19. The figure refers only to deaths recorded at medical facilities, with the total toll likely to be higher. China, in the meantime, said it would strengthen health monitoring and management of the high-risk population, adding that it would bolster the supply of drugs and medical equipment, as well as beef up training of grassroots medical workers to combat COVID-19 in rural regions. Petronas Open. Narauka one step away from making history in final. Sports when we come back. Sports badminton, the 2023 Petronas Malaysia Open. World number 7, Kodai Narauka, is one step away from becoming the first Japanese to win the men's singles title at the Malaysia Open Badminton Championships. To do that, however, the 21-year-old will have to dethrone current world number 1 Victor Axelsen of Denmark in the Super 1000 tournament final at the Axiata Arena on Sunday. Narauka, the 2018 Youth Olympic bronze medalist, played one of the longest badminton matches on Saturday when he took 1 hour and 53 minutes to edge Thailand's Kunlavut Vitsan 21-17, 19-21, 21-17 in the semi-final dubbed the Battle of Rising Stars. He had previously eliminated home favourites Lee Zijia and Ng Ziyong in the first and second rounds respectively, before ousting H.S. Pranoy of India in Friday's quarterfinals. In another match, Axelsen oozed class after he overpowered another Japanese shuttler, Kanta Tsuneyama, 21-7, 21-15 in just 46 minutes in the other semi-final. Previously, Axelsen has won all 3 matches against Narauka, although the Japanese did almost stun the Dane in their last meeting in the World Tour Finals last month after a closely fought match. Earlier, number 2 seed An Si Young reached the women's singles final after beating reigning Olympic champion Chen Yufei in the semi-finals on Saturday. The Korean star took 1 hour and 11 minutes to knock out number 4 seed Chen in 3 games, 21-12, 19-21, 21-9. In the final, An will face the winner of the other semi-final, top seed Akane Yamaguchi, who beat number 3 seed Tai Zhu Ying, 21-18, 21-16. In the women's doubles category, number 1 seeds Chen Qing Chen and Jia Yi Fan advanced to the final after winning against Indonesian pair Apriyanti Rahayu and Siti Fadia Silva Ramadanti 21-9, 2-love when they had to retire due to Siti Fadia's foot injury. Following their win, the China pair will next take on South Koreans Baek Ha-na and Lee Yu-lim, who stunned world number 4 Zhang Su-xian and Zheng Yu of China 21-17, 23-21 after a 72-minute battle in the other semi-final. In mixed doubles, top seed Zhang Siwei and Huang Ya-cheong beat Dejan Ferdinand Shah and Loris Emmanuel Wijaja of Indonesia in 2 games 21-16, 21-18 to inch closer to a 4th mixed doubles title at the 2023 Malaysia Open. In the final on Sunday, the Chinese pair will play 3rd seeds Yuta Watanabe and Arisa Hagashino of Japan, who beat Dean Puavaranukroh and S. Tera Tanachai of Thailand 21-18, 21-15 in the other semi-final. After this breather, student drowns during outing at Tasik Cermin. The details up next. In Selangor, a student of Sekolah Menengah Sungai Kapar Indah in Klang drowned during an outing with 6 others at Tasik Cermin Shah Alam on Saturday. State Fire and Rescue Department Director Dato' Nur Azam Khamis said 11 personnel, including a water rescue team from Kota Anggerik Fire Station, were mobilized to the scene after receiving an emergency call at 12:16 p.m. Upon arriving at the lake at 12:30 p.m., a search and rescue operation for 16-year-old Muhammad Khairul Hamizan Mustafa was launched. The male student was later found about 4.5 meters from the banks of the lake at 2:15 p.m. and was confirmed dead at the scene. The victim's body was then sent to Shah Alam Hospital for post-mortem. Four people, including 2 children, were injured in a fire that broke out at Desa Aman Puri in Kepong, Selangor early Saturday morning. State Fire and Rescue Department Director Dato' Nur Azam Khamis said those injured were 2 women as well as a boy and a girl. According to Dato' Nur Azam, the fire involved an apartment unit occupied by 7 locals on the first floor of the 12-story building at 3 a.m. When firemen arrived at the scene, the blaze already had caused damage to about 30 to 40% of the apartment before it was extinguished by members of the public. Dato' Nur Azam also said, based on preliminary investigation, a sofa in the living room of the apartment had caught fire before the flames spread to other parts of the unit. The victims, who suffered burns to the face, hands and feet, were taken to Selayang Hospital for treatment. The exact cause of the incident and the amount of losses are still under investigation. And that wraps up Nightline this time around. Before we leave, though, let's take a look at a Buddhist temple in Selangor, where thousands of lamps and lanterns have been lit up to greet the approaching Lunar New Year. With that, I'm Raymond Goh. Thank you for your company and have a great weekend.